I made myself a promise. I said, I will never, ever write a book ever again. 4 years earlier, 2014, I started to write my first book. It was a book about money. I wanted to call it A Comedic Guide to Money. It was going to be a book that encapsulated what I learned over 5 years talking to young people, college students, about personal finance. And I was really excited for two reasons. Number one, I really believed if they read this book, it could change the way they manage money, think about money, change what's possible. Number two, it would allow me to reach my lifelong goal, that mythical place I think of as Authorland. Authorland is pretty great, right? What happens is, you sell a lot of books, you make a lot of money, you're interviewed on NPR, you do live book readings for hushed audiences, sometimes worshipful audiences. And of course, they're going to ask you, how do you write a book? And after 4 years, I have a pretty good answer. Writing a book is like rowing a cruise ship. Technically, it is possible, but it is the hardest thing in the world to start, and it feels incredible whenever you give up. Which is what the first 2 years of writing my book really looks like. I write for a little while, and then I go, who am I kidding? And I give up, pretend I never started. And after about a year and a half of this, I kind of go, I need a strategy. And so I come up with an idea. I'm going to write 30 minutes every day, minimum. Never break. I can write 5 hours, but I have to write 30 minutes. And I start getting some days. I start creating some pages. I get into flow. And then I become obsessed. I work all day, I write for hours that night, then I wake up at 2 a.m. and I write until dawn. And then I work all day, and I write in the evening, I wake up at 2, and I write till dawn. And I do this for weeks. What's strange about this is like the epitome of hustle culture, right? Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag I work while you sleep. Hashtag something with like a lion killing someone. I'm not really a fan of hustle bros, but The hard part though is that I have some other hashtags that need to be included, like hashtag I'm freaking my girlfriend out. Hashtag I'm losing a weird amount of weight. Hashtag I haven't slept so long I'm freaking myself out too. But eventually, I finish the draft of the book, and I take it to an editor, and she says, you got to cut 25,000 words, because I got a little carried away. But over the next 2 years, I go through the other steps, I get it edited, I get a book cover, and then I reach Authorland. And I'll never forget when the UPS guy shows up and hands me the package, and I tear off the cardboard, and there it is. Teal and yellow, happy colors, beautiful cover, my book. I'm so excited, I yell to the UPS guy, hey, I wrote this book. And he turns and he goes, wow, man, good for you. It's like a really genuine moment. I went to say thank you, he'd already peeled off, but I had another great moment. It was when I did my first speech where I'm like now an author, and they said, will you sign books at the end? Now they didn't know this, I'm going to tell you this. That morning in the hotel room, I practiced my author signature on every page of a hotel notepad. 125 times. Also I could go, yeah, it's for Robert. As though I'd done this ever before, right? Life is pretending. That was my moment. After a few months, things kind of cool off. Sales disappear. And I realize I've written a book. No one cares. And now if I want people to read it, I'm going to have to market this book. And I try for a few months and I get discouraged. And I slip into a deep depression. Now, depression is something I've managed my whole life. This is not anything new, but there are times when my depression manages me. And this time, I can't make eye contact, I can't smile, I'm hiding out in my house, and I got nothing to chase, because I did the thing, and it feels like this. So I go to a doctor, and I get a new diagnosis. It turns out I do not have depressive disorder, I'm bipolar. Well, I'm bipolar 2. I don't know if you're familiar. It's like the under the radar one. It's like the non-Kanye bipolar. Gets the idea across. Yeah, like I have ups and downs, but I'm not getting on stage interrupting celebrities. I know, that Kanye reference was funnier a year ago. I know. So, what this means is that instead of taking an antidepressant for a decade, I should have been taking a mood stabilizer. So, I think back about all those nights up writing, and I realize, this wasn't a grind set, this wasn't hustle culture. This was me in an extended manic episode, diligently taking the wrong medication. It's not as cool of a story, but that's my story. I wrote a book, I got depressed, I asked for help, I got a new diagnosis and a new plan, and for the next 6 years until now, I have never been that low again. But in 2018, I promised myself I'm never gonna write a book ever again. Which is why I'm surprised last fall, 2023, when I open a file and I start writing my second book. It's coming out in a few months. It's an honest and humorous guide to mental health.
Wow.
I'm proud of it. The experience is so different. And I think mainly because I no longer believe in Authorland.